Well, I guess first and foremost, I am a loud woman, in many ways. So I think that sort of permeates my existence, like across all those topics you said. Like I'm inspired by like loud women, like PJ Harvey, Leanne LaHavis, Willow is a big one. Madison Cunningham. I'd say they're a couple of the people that have inspired this new record. In terms of my songwriting process, I'm also kind of a loud woman and kind of a little bit annoying to work with because I have quite forceful creativity. So since I was a kid, I've sort of been a bit like that. So I started writing and producing my own music when I was 16. That's what became my first album. It's an album called On My Mind. I was like super young when I made it and released it, and yeah, that was kind of all done by me. And then me and my dad mixed it, and yeah, so I guess that was sort of my introduction to releasing music and making music myself. So that process has always been I've always been quite headstrong. It's funny because on the new record, uh, I've experimented more with collaboration and with working with a few producers, and it was definitely a trial and error process, with, you know, learning how to have conversations with these people about what you want and what you want to hear in the studio and how you want the song to be. Yeah, in terms of so a little bit about me. I am I'm just a music lover, really. At my core, I'm a music lover, and I play a few different instruments. So I started off playing drums when I was 8, and then I was about 12. No, a little bit before that, maybe 10. I like picked up the guitar, and I got really into jazz music. So both my parents happened to be jazz musicians, so I'm sure that had a bit of an impact on me. Eventually, like decided to apply for the Royal Academy of Music like main jazz degree course on guitar, so jazz guitar, not vocals, and I happened to get in, and so I just kind of decided to go. And then yeah, I sort of discovered a few artists that really kind of made me realize that songwriting was something that spoke to me like more than purely jazz guitar. A couple of artists called Gretchen Parlato and Becca Stevens. They're quite niche, but they're really incredible like writers combining, or they're in like a very genreless, in my opinion, genreless space. And I was very inspired by that idea. And these days, that sort of it's just all in my background, that sort of jazz guitar upbringing and like my kind of parents and this sort of strong musical background that I don't really consciously think about, but it seems to kind of come out in various different ways. And I suppose my new album is like an amalgamation of all of that sort of upbringing. But yeah, there you go. That's me.
That's just made me think. So comparing this album to your last album, I can see here that you've gone for a bit of a what I would personally describe as a rockier feel, a rockier edge. And I think it's added something really interesting to your sound now. But what do you think about your new album?
That was totally the sort of thinking behind it. I so the songs obviously existed as demos for a long time and in a completely different form. that was similar to my last album, quite bedroomy, quite woody, a lot of like acoustic instruments. But I think since I've started like really being inspired by a lot of pop and rock music, like pop punk is so big, like artists like Willow. I mean, I mentioned Madison Cunningham a little while ago, but I supported her a couple of years ago, and that was like a bit of a transformational experience for me. So just a lot of artists that use those rockier tones and aren't really afraid to play out. I was very inspired by that. I find it very powerful. And I think the last couple of years I've sort of had the honor really of touring a lot of Europe with my trio. So just me, bass and drums. A guy called Tom Potter on the drums and a guy called Dave Edwards on the bass. And that's really kind of changed my playing a lot because if it's just a trio setup. So there's like a lot of space and you're sort of there's a lot being asked of you when you're having to deliver like a certain kind of energy on stage and a certain vigor on stage and there's only three of you. And so I think we were also playing like we did We Out Here on the main stage. We did a few things like that were and like we did Coco as well, like like we did worldwide awards there. And when you're playing those stages, you have to rise to the occasion. Like I think that is the sort of vibe and energy I wanted to transfer over to the new record, like kind of a more stadium vibe rather than a rather than a bedroomy vibe. And I think as soon as I realized that all of the production started to make a lot more sense, like across the tracks, because they all existed in various states and I wasn't really sure where I was going with it. But then when I had this like rockier mindset and this more stadium mindset, things started to become a bit more cohesive, I suppose. But yeah.
A rockier mindset, still with scatting in it though. I mean, that's impressive.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. Yeah. I mean, that's the jazz like in me that will never go. But I don't really see it as jazz anymore. It's just like I don't know, it's just a way of that I can incorporate improvisation into like just a singer-songwriter set, using the voice as a sort of way in, which I think a lot of people seem to kind of like, or it seems like whenever anyone sees me do it, they're like, "Oh, I love that thing that you did." And I was like, "Oh, thank you, thanks, man." So I don't know. People seem to like me doing that. So I just don't ever stop. I enjoy doing it as well. I can't really improvise any other way at this point, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think you should stop. We've segued quite nicely to a question I was going to ask later on, but I think you've been speaking about your live performances over the previous year and stuff like that. I know you've got a tour coming up, haven't you?
Yeah,
I'm interested to know what we can expect from a live performance from you then.
that's a good question. So for most of the shows I'll be with my trio. So it's just me and bass and drums, electric bass and drums, which is sort of yeah, it's I feel like the guys I play with have such personality, and they've really like influenced the way I play. So Tom Potter, who plays drums with me, he's got kind of a really like an insane pocket, like an insane kind of groove and feel that really kind of elevates the songs in a live setup. And like whenever he does like a drum solo or anything, it's like crazy like metric modulations and stuff. So it's definitely like quite a muso gig, like muso performance, because I think I just want to like highlight them and us as a band. Like I think we play really really well together. Like we have such great chemistry like off stage, and it seems to translate to like the stage as well. But yeah, I'd say it's like quite a muso gig, but I'm deeply passionate about kind of like musicality and trying to be the best musician and the best performer that I can be. So I try not to cut corners when I'm like learning songs or when we're like rehearsing as the band. So I think I guess it's quite a muso gig, but also I mean it's just kind of fun. Like it's like my favorite place to be. So it's my favorite thing to do. My favorite part is to like play it live. So I think it's like generally quite fun. So fun and muso is what you can expect, I suppose. Like a lot of guitar as well. Like it's very intense guitar moments. I've got a loop pedal as well that I use at points in the set. So yeah, like yeah, I guess that's kind of what to expect. But
So thinking about your tour that's coming up, are there any gigs that you're especially looking forward to or that you're especially nervous about?
Mm. I think probably the hometown show at O'Meara is one that I'm really looking forward to because that's a venue that is very close to my heart. Like I've seen a lot of people perform there that I love, and we played one of our shows there supporting Madison, and it was like and it just like the best show. I just love the venue. It's like Shabby Chic. If Shabby Chic were a venue, it's just the coolest place to play. It's like it feels big, but it's also really intimate. And also hometown shows, I feel like are always the best generally. Um, yeah, I think we're also doing a really cool one we're doing is Village Underground for Brick Lane Jazz Festival. Um, which like just the idea of playing that venue is very cool. I guess I'm a little nervous about that one, but I don't know. I don't really get that nervous anymore, which is quite nice. I've just sort of learnt to embrace the the moment these days, you know, whether that means making mistakes or not. I think guess I'm quite fortunate to have reached that place. But yeah.
It is fortunate, flipping heck, and you've still got a massive career ahead of you. So that's really good skill base to get at this time, I think.
I think you just do it like for a certain amount of time, and also when you play with people you trust so much, it's like you know even if I'm making a mistake, I know that they're going to be really tight and kind of supporting me, so it's all good. Yeah.
Amazing. So stepping back to the album, what's your favorite song on the album then?
Hmm. My favorite song on the album, I think it could be 20s or maybe Give and Take, for different reasons. But yeah, maybe I'll go with Give and Take. I think because it's that for me was like the statement track for the record, like talking about like rockier and grittier tones. It was a song that like really put me out of my comfort zone when I was making it. So it, like I was saying, it like existed in a more Bloom-like, which is my last album, Bloom, more
Mhm.
Bloom-like state for a long time. And then I worked with a good friend of mine called Lewis Moody. He's a producer. He's from Australia, but he's based in London now. And he, I remember there's this hilarious experience where I was like, it's just not right. Like there's something not right about the chorus. It's not hitting hard enough. And he just like came over to my overdrive pedal and he just whacked the gain up full. And I was like, I remember being terrified. And he was just like, can you just do a take like this? Just do a take on the guitar like this. And I was like, oh my God, okay. And so I did, and like I was initially like, this is too much, but then once I heard it in the track, it suddenly kind of had been elevated, in my opinion, to this place where I was like, wow, this is exactly where the track needed to be. It was almost like I was half going there, but I wasn't fully going there. So yeah, for me, that in a similar way, it's like as a whole, the track felt like I was really pushing myself, like musically, and yeah, in that sort of like trying to be as genre blaring as possible. It was I find it the most satisfying in that sense in my mind. Yeah, the guitars as well. I'm very happy with how the guitars turned out on that one.
I think it might be my favorite that I've heard so far on the album too, actually. What do you envisage for your future?
I think more than anything, like there are a few things that I feel on a personal level I want to accomplish, and that's sort of just being really authentic to the music that I'm making. And basically I'm on a bit of a, in the spirit of Loud Women, I'm on a mission to kind of, I'm on a genre takedown. I want to take down genres. um because I have a really adverse reaction to genres, and I think they don't really serve artists in any way. I think they serve the people who try to market artists more than they serve artists, and they serve like Spotify and all of these platforms more than they serve artists. And I think, I don't know, it's a personal goal of mine to kind of that's sort of like all my message in a lot of ways. If I just want to keep doing that, and maybe, you know, I hope I can inspire other people to just make music that's really authentic to them, regardless of what they think is like trendy or what they think is doing well. So that's like a more profound philosophical thing. But I think in terms of the future, I really want to prioritize like real human connection, like in my music and in my career going forwards, and sort of just building an audience of people who are just like really wanting to kind of, you know, come out to shows and you know, come and meet me and come and see me live. And if I have two things I want to do, I would like to be nominated for a Mercury Prize, and I would like to sell out the Union Chapel. Those are like my two material, physical goals I think I have.
I think
But
it's fine though, isn't it? I think it's fine to have material, physical goals, but also say, I really want an audience that's genuine, that wants to meet
I think
me.
that's literally it. Like, I just want an audience that's you know, kind of, that just wants to listen to music. I think, you know, artists have that. Like, try and think of an artist that I think has that. Like, there's an artist called Margaret Glaspie. She's got about like 35,000 Instagram followers or something, but she's got a super dedicated fan base like across the world, where she can like play sold out tours. And that's sort of the goal for me, is like a quality over quantity thing. I'm not kind of about the numbers these days. I'm sort of just want a really qualitative audience who, I suppose that's what I would like for myself in the future, and just to be happy as well, just to not let things like get to me too much as an artist. I think it's so easy to take things so seriously and to think that this is the be all and end all, when, you know, I've just started like looking at the moon more like just like looking at the moon and being like, what the fuck is that? Like, what the fuck is the moon? I think that's just what I want. That's what I see for my future, is just like more looking at the moon for me. That's what I see. I'm gonna get into tarot, gonna read more, I love swimming. I'm super into swimming. I want to get into like outdoor swimming. I want to cook more. You know, there's so much, and I think then the music will come after that. Freaks me out looking at the moon.